Pruning is an important component of keeping the plant healthy, and you'll see some plants that we pruned 3 weeks ago, and you'll see how healthy they look right now. But the other element of this is it's important to keep the plant's density together. If you look at some plants that look wiry or where there's a lot of wood apparent, that's probably because they haven't been pruned with the kind of regularity we apply. We'll prune everything before Labor Day here, and we'll get a nice bowl-shaped lavender plant that looks very healthy going into the fall. The process is pretty straightforward. Basically, you're taking the stems off about an inch or so above the woody part, and at the same time, you can shape your plant into the bowl shape that most people associate with a healthy looking lavender plant. While you're at it, if you've got any dead wood on it, you can cut that out, cut the dead wood to the lowest point available so you get most of the dead material out, so the plant's not wasting energy on that dead material. When we prune, we use these shears simply because it makes it a lot easier if you're doing the kind of numbers we're doing with the number of lavender plants we have. We have about 18,000 of them, and we've got to do something like this to every plant. So we use these shears from steel that are very effective, providing you don't get your fingers in the way. Very simple. So you can see we've trimmed the plant to just above the woody area. We've got a nice bowl shape. This plant, we've had some pretty hard weather here over the last 3 or 4 weeks and not a lot of rain. This plant's a little drier looking than it should be, but you'll see it recover now that the rain's returned and the pruning's been done. We'll expect something that's a lot greener. You'll see some new growth come out of it over the course of the next few weeks, and I'll show you what a really healthy pruned plant looks like 3 weeks from now. Here's an example. This is a 4-year-old Fulgate also. We harvested this plant about 3 weeks ago, and you can see it's returned to a healthier looking color, less brown, and some new growth inside the plant. You can see the density of this plant reflects the fact that we've pruned it every year around this time, which is why we've got a nice bushy looking bowl-shaped plant. One thing that pruning your lavender does is it motivates the plant to go into growth mode again. In the case of most of our plants, this just means we'll get new growth that you've seen in the last part of this video, where it starts to green up and you start seeing some new growth come out inside the middle of the plant. In the case of Super Blue here, we'll actually get this second blossom. We cut these back originally at the end of June because we use those blossoms for bouquets and wreaths. But now we get this second bloom, and all of our Super Blue will return to this state sometime in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll have these blooms on until the end of October, where they'll brown up. We won't cut those blooms back, and the reason we don't do that is we don't want to stimulate new growth in the plant going into winter, which is why we try and get everything done before Labor Day. But this will give us a really nice, luscious bloom to look at through October. And even Grace likes them.